All right, it's your girl, Blackgirlmarvel. Hello. So, we are back with day 3 of 31 days of reviews. That goes for film, television alike. But today we are talking about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. If you do not want to be spoiled about this film, please hop to my TikTok or my Instagram and go listen to my spoiler-free version because I'm going to spoil it in this one. Good, let's go. So, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is obviously the sequel to the first Aquaman that I believe came out in 2018. I ain't about to go research that, but you know what I'm saying. And it stars Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson, and Dolph Lundgren at this point because. So anyway, in this film we see Arthur, aka Aquaman, deal with the pressures of not only being a husband and a father. Yes, he has a child in this one, but also being king of Atlantis. You know, in the first Aquaman, he was out there just living his life, doing his thing, you know, stopping pirates every now and again, making mortal enemies whenever he felt like it, right? In this one, he kind of got to buckle down, and that's not in his spirit. So this shows his journey into kind of becoming the king that, like, you know, even better than Atlan, the king that his mother knew he'd become, and, you know, bridge those gaps between the earth, between the people on the land and the people in the sea. My God, that was a lot. Anyway, so in this, we see him like really, really struggle with it. And he sometimes says that he doesn't want to be, you know, king and all that kind of stuff. Then we jump to Black Manta, who is still pressed about getting in there and swamped by Aquaman in the first film, as well as he's still haunted by his father, you know, dying pretty, and he feels though at the hands of Aquaman, but that was at the hands of y'all selves. I'll down that hill. During all this, the researcher from the first film, I can't remember the actor's name, I'm so sorry, but he's amazing. He's in the MCU as well. That boy be getting checks. I want a career like his. He be getting checks. But anywho, during this time, that scientist has aligned himself with Black Manta, and they're looking for this like green energy that like powers, like it's very hot when it's heated, that's been like pretty much outlawed in Atlantis. So while they're traveling and, you know, deeper down into the crust of the earth and all these things, the scientist finds himself in Alaska. The earth cracks open, he falls down. Black Manta, his crew come, and they find the Lost Kingdom. And in this Lost Kingdom, King Atlan's father, I'm ruining this whole movie, but this is the spoiled version. King Atlan's King Atlan's brother was in charge of this kingdom, but he pretty much got warped by the chemicals in which Black Manta has been looking for. These chemicals not only like poison the sea and, you know, like killed multiple animals and, like, you know, wildlife and all this kind of stuff. It corrupted. It was very magical and powerful, and Atlan's brother used it to create like a pretty much like a opposite trident than the one that King Atlan had. I don't know what this accent is. King Atlan had. And in doing so, he changed him and his people into like these skeletal, immortal, like skeleton people. And Atlan had to use his own blood. He had to use blood magic to seal him up and freeze the Lost Kingdom. But because of global warming and things like that, the ice, you know, polar ice caps are melting, and Atlan's brother is able to like squeak out pretty much his trident ends up freezing, you know, thawing out, and Black Manta finds it. He puts it together because it was broken in half. He puts it together. A part of Atlan's brother possesses Manta, and they work to heat up the earth even more to thaw his city so he could take revenge. And these things happening in Atlantis being affected and all this kind of stuff, Arthur sets out to take care of this, but he realizes along the way that he needs his brother, because his brother is like the only person that pretty much alive essentially that has worked with Black Manta, and they need his help. So I won't go through the rest of the movie because I could like sit here and actually tell you the movie play by play, and I've only seen it once, which is crazy, but that's how my brain works. We get some scenes with Mara. A lot of Amber Heard scenes were cut down as like, you know, due to the trial. And you can kind of tell, it doesn't take away from the film at all, but you can tell that like she had more of a presence than what they're showing. So it kind of throws things off a little bit, but not a lot. All the acting to me was spot on. Nicole Kidman, Tamora Morrison, Yaya, Jason, Patrick, Dolph. They all did amazing. Everybody played their part. The graphics was amazing. It looks even better. It looks like, because we know this world a little bit, it's a little more lived in. You know, it feels pretty good. I feel like everybody played their part. Me personally, as usual, as much as I love me some Jason Momoa, I think he's really good. I think he's a really good actor. He's really good at what he does. But I would like to see a little bit more acting from him. I feel like I feel like characters that he kind of makes them him a little bit. So it takes away from the fact that I'm like watching Aquaman. It's more so like I'm kind of watching Jason Momoa put on an Aquaman suit. But here's the thing, he's fun, he's enjoyable, he's charismatic, and he's actually made Aquaman kind of like cool. Not to say he wasn't cool in the comics, but he kind of wasn't. You know what I'm saying? As Aquaman has gone through the comics, I think his swag has upped up a little bit, but you know, that's neither here nor there. All in all, I think Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was a really good film. I was invested. My favorite thing of the whole film is the brothers, the sibling relationship, because like I said before, I said this in my spoiler-free version, that I feel like it's amazing watching these worlds like the DCEU, MCU. It's amazing watching these like fantastical things happen, but at the core of all these things, there are like real human. They can be like real human elements, human issues that these like superheroes would have to go through, right? So like, no matter how super they are, they're just like us, you know, just like us, things like that. Like, we can relate to these things. And so like, though the sibling part of that really drove this movie for me. Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson really work well off each other, and I would love more of them two as Arthur and Orm, because like they do fit those characters to me. Patrick Wilson is Orm. Like, anytime I've seen Orm on like Young Justice, or you know, the DCEU films, the animated version, the DCAU and all that kind of stuff, to me Patrick Wilson fits that character to a T. But I mean, I recommend this movie. Go check it out, even just for the fun of it. It was just like a fun ride. It was just like, I can sit back and I can enjoy it. It's a little narration in the beginning, because they kind of recap the first one. But also like update you on like the minor things that's been happening, that I feel like they did that to cut up a lot of Amber Heard scenes, but like it still kind of works. Yeah, you know, and I will say this, I don't like it when people have babies in films and stuff like that, because like they become like the focal, and it's like, what, I gotta wait 15 years for this kid to grow up, or for y'all to come over the story or something like that. But I will say the baby did not distract from this. The baby, little Arthur Jr., and I think his name was AJ, is pretty cool. But I was thinking maybe Arthur's kid turns into like Aqualad. Even though I want my Aqualad to not be related to him, and I want my Aqualad to be black and queer, like Young Justice. But still, a title is a title, and maybe Arthur's son is the first Aqualad, and then, you know, another kid comes by, all that kind of stuff. But I would love if they got into like a Young Justice like thing, and I'm thinking that's probably what James Gunn might be doing with the DCEU now, revising it after Flashpoint and everything. But I digress. I give Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I'm gonna say the whole thing, I give it a good 7.5 out of 10. It's a film that, like, if it pops up on Max or something like that, I'll watch again. Probably watch the first one and then watch this one, see if I see any correlations, because I love doing that in films. But yeah, as always, don't forget to comment, sub, you know what I mean. You can, if you want to financially help me out, donate, CashApp, Venmo, Blackgirlmarvel. But if you can't do that, or you don't want to do that, just comment and, sub to your girl. It all helps. I appreciate you. As always, stay breezy.